Hey guys, welcome to BP, the Bible Perspective. The coronavirus, how serious is it? Kind of confusing depending on what news report you listen to. Now before we get into it, please like and share this video and subscribe to BP, the Bible Perspective. And as always, if you have a comment or a thought, add it in the comment section. All comments are welcome. You know, when this virus hit China, people thought of it as, don't worry about it. There were people who downplayed the effect, but then it kept growing. You see, people kept dying from it. And then, of course, it breached the walls of China, and then now it has made its way over here in the U.S., and of course now it is making its way around the world. And to date, every state in the United States, except for West Virginia, and I don't know what's up with that, has a reported case of coronavirus. So my question is, why do people downplay it, or why are they attempting to downplay it? And even now, just in recent days, is the president taking a more serious tone? And of course, we're at the brink right now of a national shutdown, or I would say we're looking at, seriously, a martial law type situation that's going to restrict the movements of people. But let me just read you something from a conservative who kind of posted something on my Facebook post. I responded to a question and then they responded back. Now, let me just say this. The headline was, the MIT biologist says, fear-mongering on coronavirus will go down as the biggest fraud to manipulate economies. Well, here's, again, this is what one of her response to this, and it kind of took me back. And by the way, this was just 2 days ago. And this is what she said. So far, the population of 350 million people, there have been 62 deaths and 5,000 infections. Put this in perspective. Okay, so let's put this in perspective. Let's do just that. Now, I did respond to her. I said the problem with your perspective is that if the virus wasn't spreading, you'd have a point. But so far, it is spreading. We don't know how, in the sense that we don't know who is affected, how it's transmitting. We know how the virus is being transmitted, by contacting surfaces, infected surfaces, surfaces, and then with our hands, we then put these hands in our faces, make contact with, our eyes, nose, whatever. Okay, we know that's how it's being transmitted, but we don't know who. For example, we don't know, who's been traveling, who's been contacting, been infected by who. So the problem with her point, and this is what I said. Now, notice she's using stats. Now, whenever a person uses stats like this is a argumentative trick. It doesn't address the issue. Now, let's think about this for a moment. She says, out of 350 million people, there's only been 62 deaths. I'm sorry, 62 deaths. That's alarming. Here's another flaw in this argument. Every pandemic, every epidemic starts off small, right? Maybe started off from one person, and then it started to spread. So to make this argument here to say, so far, right, 350 million, only 62 deaths, only 5,000 infections. Well, let's take this and put this in perspective, as she says. Out of 5,000 infections, now just think about this. Now, here's what we do know. Before I do this, put this in perspective right here. Here's what we kind of know about this disease, that it pretty much can infect anyone of all ages. People that are older in ages with ailments are going to fall into this kind of category of being more likely to die from the disease. People who are younger and healthier will get it, suffer from it, and then overcome it. All right, but here's the problem. This thing is spreading. And the fact that it is spreading fast by day, so just think about, you got 5,000 people. Now, just think about this. There are 50 states. 5,000 people, 50 states. Even if you put the 100 cities, 5,000, and just spread them all over, guess what? This is how you can have a rapid infectious rate. So for her to kind of downplay it as, well, there's only 350 million people, so there's only 62 deaths. Well, there's 62 deaths. And guess what? If this number was contained, meaning this, if they can come to a place where they can say, hey, we have a cure for the disease, and now we can at least have that. In other words, we can stop the disease by cure. And then secondly, how do we stop the disease by spreading? Well, we haven't answered those questions yet. They can't treat it. But the problem is that, as I said before, if you're older and probably in a weaker health condition, that weaker health condition will also include, that weaker health condition will also include younger people with health conditions, then they're more likely to die of this disease. This virus. And that's serious. Now, how serious should we take it? Well, the point is, we have to, our officials, medical officials, and national officials have to come to a place where they're taking it pretty serious. Okay, they are. And of course, so you got two things that needs to go on. One, you got the medical people who are feverishly working on how to cure the disease. In other words, a shot, boom, we can stop it, we can kill it. So you got that going on. Then, on the other hand, the bigger issue, until we have that, but the bigger issue will be, how do we stop it from spreading? Because we know now, if it's spreading, then more people are going to be infected, more people are going to die, more people are going to suffer because of this virus. Now, already it's taking a toll on the economy. It has disrupted the American life as we know it, which is interesting in and of itself. And if I wanted to be humorous, and be conspiratorial, I could say that the deep state or somebody can use this to impose martial law. Somebody could use this to postpone election. Oh, wait, they're kind of already doing these things, aren't they? In some degree, right? In other words, states are already pretty much suggesting now, stay home, don't go out, limit your access. Why? Because we don't know how rapid this thing is going to spread. Now again, with all of this right now, it's not hard to see how someone could make the leap in a conspiratorial way that guess what? People could all of a sudden impose a martial law condition. Now I'm going to back off of that because I'm kind of being humorous, but at the same time, I am posing, look at how easily the possibility exists. But back to the more serious thing. Should we not take it serious in our travels, in our limiting our contact? Sure, we should. I work every day, so therefore I have to go to work. I work in a 24-hour in a hospital type kind of situation, so I have to be there. But I'm taking more precaution. For example, wearing more gloves. Like I have, having gloves, and washing my hands more, doing things like that. In other words, we should take this virus seriously. Why? Because unlike our friend here, it's spreading, and it is getting more serious. And until that stops, her logic can only make sense. Until they say, we've got a cure, just like the flu, we have a cure for the flu, we can stop the flu, even though the flu is still infectious and contagious, we got a cure for it. And until we have one for the coronavirus, take it serious. Take precautions. Limit your contact with people. limit your travels. Be careful until they can say we got control of it. We should take it seriously. Okay, guys, that's my perspective. And as always, like and share this video and subscribe to BP, the Bible Perspective.